Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, a modern detective series set in 1920s Melbourne. Now on DVD and Blu-ray. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV. On this episode of Just Seen It, we review 42, based on the true story of baseball great Jackie Robinson.
Just get him out. Just get him out.
Jackie Robinson's story is groundbreaking, trailblazing story.
We offer a retrospective on director Baz Luhrmann and a preview of his next film, The Great Gatsby.
Major J. Gatsby for Valor Extraordinary.
That's right.
There have been many versions of The Great Gatsby, most famous probably being 1974, written by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Robert Redford and Mia Farrow.
And review at any price.
Mr. Whipple, can you ask this person to leave?
Dean, that's enough. Dean, go it. Hey! Dean! Stop it!
With Dennis Quaid's character, he had to be a little silly because his character is downright despicable.
All right here on Just Seen It. Based on true events, Dodgers manager Branch Rickey signs Jackie Robinson.
You are a fine gentleman and a great baseball player.
But breaking the league's color barrier puts them both in the line of fire.
Why don't you look in the mirror? This is a white man's game.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here.
Together, they overcome prejudice and hatred in 42.
Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Leah, and we're here today to talk about 42, the new Brian Helgeland film about the life story of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. We've all just seen it.
And we're very happy to have with us today Scott Mance.
Thanks very much.
Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Scott Mance. You know that part. I'm the film critic for Access Hollywood, and I'm a proud member of the Broadcast Film Critics Association. This is Brian Helgeland. You know, he's a writer and he's a director. Mm-hmm. And after seeing this movie, I've come to the conclusion that he's much better as a writer than as a director. Now, of course, he's an Oscar nominee for his screenplay for Mystic River. Mm-hmm. He's an Oscar winner for his screenplay for LA Confidential. Right. But the thing about 42 is, I think as a director, it is his best film because the production values are so great, because he has top acting talent in the film. But as a writer, his strength in this movie is not realized, or utilized rather, because the movie is very formulaic. It's very matter of fact. Jackie Robinson's story is groundbreaking, trailblazing story, yet the movie, the progression of the film, it just didn't feel special. It was formulaic to a fault.
This movie feels like a bit of a history lesson.
It does.
There are no hills and valleys. It's very kind of
very straightforward.
One foot right in front of the other. Nothing spectacular that's happening here. But I didn't realize that this story was equally about Jackie Robinson and Branch Rickey.
Yep. Yes.
Particularly until we got to the end, and I won't reveal anything. But it was a defining moment at the end of the film where I suddenly realized, oh, this is as much about Rickey as it is about Jackie Robinson. And so I think that was Helgeland's contribution to this narrative.
It was very one note. I felt like it's a movie about Jackie Robinson being an African-American baseball player coming in and faces a lot of prejudice.
Right.
And for over 2 hours, I basically got a movie about Jackie Robinson facing a lot of prejudice. And I kind of eventually went, I get it. Give me something about Jackie Robinson I didn't know.
Now, having said all of that, where the movie really knocks it out of the park, so to speak, is with the performances. The actors in this movie are fantastic. For the first time, Harrison Ford, he's made a career, a very successful career, out of playing different variations of the Harrison Ford character. Han Solo, Indiana Jones, The Fugitive, Air Force One. So to actually see him in a role where he's really acting, Branch Rickey, I thought he did a fantastic job. And I'll tell you, even more so, Chadwick Boseman, who plays Jackie Robinson, this is the true definition of a breakthrough performance.
Give me up.
No, like stay down.
No, give me up. Just get him out. Just get him out.
I agree that this is probably the most standout performance from Harrison Ford in a long time, and I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and take a risk and say, if people remember at the end of the year, this will probably get Harrison Ford a Best Supporting Actor nod.
You think God likes baseball, Herb?
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It means someday you're gonna meet God, and when he inquires as why you didn't take the field against Robinson in Philadelphia, and you answer that it's because he was a Negro, it may not be a sufficient reply.
Nicole Beharie?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's
fantastic.
Sweet as pie. She is compelling to watch. Every time she was on the screen, I really dug her.
As written, I don't think the character is very interesting. As performed by Nicole Beharie, I thought that she was a standout. She had great chemistry with Chadwick Boseman, and she was a standout in the film itself.
I agree. And Chadwick Boseman, I would say some of his best scenes are with Nicole Beharie.
Yeah.
I thought they had really good chemistry together.
I want you to know I'm there for you, even if it's words on paper.
Ray, in my heart.
You started off the conversation talking about Helgeland as a director.
Yeah.
Let's revisit that. I agree with you in this is not a strength of his, but it just felt very kind of by the numbers. But it's a serviceable job.
It does the job.
It gets the job done.
Part of the story is dependent upon Jackie Robinson, the ball player.
Right.
I mean, even the scene where they initially pick him, I actually got a little bit queasy. It's almost like how Apollo Creed picked Rocky. They were just like, well, we need a black guy. This guy looks good.
Well, let's get that guy.
I never got Jackie.
Right,
what
I
made
agree.
Jackie Robinson special as a ball player? One of his fellow teammates comes up to him and says, "You're the greatest I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Not
a
the
good
greatest
point.
I've ever seen in terms of what's
Right.
shown on the screen. Show me what made him a great ball player.
That moment that you just pointed out, I remember specifically thinking that felt a little contrived.
Yeah.
Branch was taking a big leap on Jackie, and Jackie knew it and grew to become very grateful to Branch because of it. And that, mostly because of the performances and the direction at the end of the film, sealed the movie as being an inspiring story.
42 seems more like a glimpse into a great sports figure when there should be so much more. So I say stream it.
I liked 42 a lot. I thought it was formulaic and manipulative, and it didn't feel as special as the actual story itself, but I thought the performances and the production values really knocked this movie out of the park. I say see it.
So 42 is not without flaws. However, it is a very compelling story, a good family drama about a baseball great and the man who made him a legend. I say see it.
Looks like our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for 42.
I'll
Cheers!
drink to that. Cheers. Here's to you, Jackie Robinson.
Scene 1, take 2, marker.
My name is Brenna Smith, and I am from Los Angeles, California. Some Like It Hot. And I think that's one of my favorite movies just because it's so perfect. It's funny, and it's sweet, and it's romantic, and it's Marilyn Monroe, and it's pretty much everything that we've loved about cinema in one movie. I like reviewing and just seeing it because I get to see movies before everybody else, and then I get to brag and laugh at other people who really want to see the things that I've already seen. No, the real reason is because I absolutely adore film. It's something that I've always loved. It's something that I was raised around with a mother who is also into film, and being able to provide an outlet to critically look at film is important to me. Our DVD pick of the week is The Impossible. Based on true events surrounding the massive tsunami in Southeast Asia in 2004, The Impossible tells the harrowing story of one family's desperate struggle to survive and reunite. When Liz, Salim, and Sean saw it last fall, they gave it a see it, and Naomi Watts was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress. Also out this week on DVD is the documentary The Central Park Five, which we gave a see it.
Last night, a woman jogger was found unconscious and partially clothed in Central Park. She was beaten and sexually assaulted.
A woman jogging in Central Park. Central Park was holy.
And Gangster Squad and Promised Land, which both got stream it. So there you have it. Lots of choices for your home movie experience. Enjoy!
Strictly Ballroom Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge, and Australia. We do a retrospective on the movies of director Baz Luhrmann and a preview review of his next film, The Great Gatsby.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
I'm Leah.
I'm Liz. There's a new Great Gatsby movie coming out directed by Baz Luhrmann, and we're here today to do a little preview on it and talk about his work leading up to the film. So, how did Baz Luhrmann get his start?
Well, he was born in Sydney, Australia. His mom was a ballroom teacher, and she also competed with his father, who was a farmer and owned a movie theater.
He talks about how he was really influenced and inspired by watching movies over and over again in his dad's theater, and how it just kind of, grabbed his attention early on in life. And I guess he knew that that was something that he wanted to do.
Well, that makes a lot of sense considering Strictly Ballroom is about ballroom dance competitors.
Exactly.
Strictly Ballroom started off as a play, and then over a period of time, it was actually modified and adapted for the screen.
It's so good. It's such good. I watched it in preparation for this show, and I was just like, oh, I'll just watch a clip or two. I'll just put it on.
No,
I couldn't turn away.
The humor of it was so unusual and so different from anything that I'd ever seen before. Right. And at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And within like 5 minutes, I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
It gets you with its simplicity.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
It's a love story. It's a romantic comedy. Yet it plays on these kind of opposites or binaries throughout. You've got tradition versus the modern, and you've got this side of the tracks versus that side of the tracks. It really is a feel-good, fun, entertaining movie. And you really root for Fran and Scott to wind up together at the end of the movie.
So speaking of romances and wrong side of the tracks, Baz Luhrmann then adapted Romeo and Juliet for the big screen. I think this was his big game-changer movie. It really put his name on the map. Everybody knew who he was.
Two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch.
Baz Luhrmann's version of Romeo and Juliet is the second installment in his Red Curtain trilogy, which is a series of films that have theatrical motifs running through their stories. One of Baz Luhrmann's strengths is his ability to deal with the spectacular. Right? I mean, so by the time we get to Moulin Rouge, it's the spectacular.
Yay, Moulin Rouge! The scene where they're singing Come What May in the rehearsal, and Ewan McGregor walks down the aisle, and he finally goes, because she doesn't love you. The entire audience gasped.
But did you really not know he was gonna do that?
Not at that moment.
You gotta be kidding me.
But even so, even if we did.
It was telegraphed 2 million miles away.
No.
People on Mars could see that coming.
But it still worked emotionally. And that's my point, is that we still
But you know
cared.
what? It tossed the emotion to the villain. I gotta admit, the villain became one of the most interesting characters in the movie.
Well, you found him interesting, so the film worked a little bit for you.
Good.
No.
Regardless, he was nominated for Best Picture, and a musical hadn't been nominated for Best Picture since Beauty and the Beast about 10 years earlier. So it was a little divisive for critics, but I think popularly it was embraced.
With Australia, he said he was just going to go all out. And I think, there's a lot of things that didn't work, and I understand why. But there was something so sumptuous about it that I was just kind of taken over by the spectacle.
I don't know much about the country of Australia, and I think he was trying to educate people and have some pride in where he comes from. I like that a lot, and using Australian crews and helping the economy. I found it very long and boring, and I'm sorry, I love Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann could, from time to time, stand a little restraint.
His next project is The Great Gatsby.
So The Great Gatsby is based on an F. Scott Fitzgerald novel of the same title.
There have been many versions of The Great Gatsby, most famous probably being 1974, written by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Robert Redford and Mia Farrow.
Not a fan of it.
It's not a film that stands the test of time.
Had some nice intimate moments.
Really? Mia Farrow?
Yeah. Mia Farrow was irritating, but Sam Waterston was very good as Nick.
Karen Black, love her. She's like, anything. She's crazy woman.
In everything.
In everything. What's really interesting in looking back at it, to me, is how it very much is kind of this time capsule of early 70s filmmaking. The style of acting, the style of filmmaking, it's very dated.
I thought Sam Waterston as Nick was fantastic, and that brings up my worries of the new Great Gatsby. But I just thought Robert Redford and Sam Waterston were lovely. I thought it was a nice, controlled, slow-paced film. The only real issues that I had with it were Mia Farrow and her performance.
It does kind of make you go, I wonder why Baz Luhrmann wants to redo this story.
But it makes perfect sense because the extravagance of the 20s is perfect for his visual style.
This is true.
Yeah, and the extravagance of his lifestyle and the parties that they used to throw. I mean,
you want to see a Gatsby party through the eyes of Baz Luhrmann.
Right.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous about Carey Mulligan in this. I really like her as an actress, but she doesn't have a lot of sexual chemistry with her co-stars, and I feel like this movie needs that. I think she's a good actress, and I think she's empathetic, but you're gonna need heat.
Yes, it's the roaring 1920s, but there's a different standard of sexuality in public. Even at these parties, it's nothing like it is today, and I think that kind of tapered down behavior will work with this film.
Then came the war, old sport. The Allied government gave me a decoration. Major J. Gatsby for valor extraordinary.
That's right.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire that I'm worried about here.
These are both man boys. These are not men of stature. We're talking Robert Redford and Sam Waterston.
Yeah.
I just don't, I'm a little nervous about that.
Maybe you should have went back to Hugh Jackman.
So let's all give our final thought on this new Great Gatsby.
I really love Baz Luhrmann, so I'm really excited to see what he does with this.
I'm not supportive of a Great Gatsby remake, but if anyone's gonna do it, I think Baz Luhrmann is the perfect match.
Well, I'm looking forward to us reconvening after having seen the film and hopefully having a very, very broad smile on my face.
To Baz Luhrmann.
To Baz Luhrmann.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Love is in the air.
Cast interviews. Salim, scene 1, take 2, marker.
My name is Salim Lamel, and I am from a quiet tree-lined city called Claremont, California, home of the Pomona Colleges. My favorite movie has to be Blade Runner. It's what I consider political science fiction, so it teaches you stuff, but it also entertains you at the same time. I am a reviewer for Just Seen It, obviously because I love movies. I love talking about movies, but as a screenwriter, I focus on some things that a lot of people might not see, so I want to be able to tell people about it.
Henry wants his son to take over the family's farming business.
I'm gonna give you your own stake in the family farm.
I'm not staying here, Dad.
But Dean prefers the thrill of being a race car driver.
That foot is made of lead. It's gonna get you to NASCAR.
As Henry comes under investigation, the two unite to save the farm.
If they find out,
we'll lose everything.
In At Any Price.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
I'm Salim.
And I'm Aaron, and today we're here to discuss the new outing from Zac Efron and Dennis Quaid, At Any Price. We've all just seen it. Who's gonna start us off?
I actually am a big fan of Ramin Bahrani. He did Chop Shop, he did Goodbye Solo, and I enjoy how he spends time with these realistic characters, bringing out this world that a lot of us might not know. Unfortunately, in this one, he has the characters, but there's a lot of other stuff that's going on that really makes it hard to follow.
I just thought the movie was all over the place. I mean, it didn't know what it wanted to be. Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Without giving away the twist ending, I don't know what was going on there. It was a totally other film. It really felt sloppy to me.
Well, yeah, the script is inconsistent in its tone. That was my biggest problem with it, too. I thought the first half of it was way too funny, and it was funny in a weird way. It wasn't like we were laughing with the people, it was like we were laughing at them. And I didn't know what was going on, and then it takes this serious turn.
Exactly.
Well, Dennis Quaid's in the wrong movie. Yeah. I mean, he's not in the same movie as Zac Efron and everyone else in the film. He's doing some sort of screwball comedy. Efron's in this sort of dramatic, and the film Efron's in I liked. I wish I'd seen more of that. It ended about a half hour into the film.
With Dennis Quaid's character, he had to be a little silly because his character is downright despicable. First scene of the movie, he's at a funeral and he's asking, "Oh, so can I buy the land for the guy who just died?" And immediately, it's hard for you to get on board with this character because obviously he's in an arc, but when the arc starts to happen, you really don't care.
Sir, I'm
I can't stand you kind of people, and I don't ever want to come back to Iowa after today. Where do we sign?
I do agree that the humor doesn't play. It does feel like he's in a different movie.
He's almost unwatchable. I mean, it's just too much. You know?
But when the film takes this dramatic turn and you see him change, that's where I thought it actually had some substance and became a good film. The only problem is it's 2 movies.
Yeah, and it doesn't connect thematically with
maybe
everything
3
else.
movies.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's a family drama, it's a morality tale, and it's a slice of life of the small farming town. And unfortunately, these 3 parts don't really connect that well together.
And look, I think Zac Efron is a great actor. Not a good actor. I think he's a great actor. And he finally has some material to show that in with this film. Unfortunately, it only goes like part way. I mean, there's a movie in here about this Midwestern kid who wants to be a NASCAR driver. I like that movie a lot. There's only 20 minutes of it.
Yeah.
No, I wish I wish the movie had been more of that and less of this hustler Dennis Quaid character trying to save Dad's farm.
All that being said, I think the performances are not the worst part of this movie. I honestly think that Dennis Quaid did a good job, even though I didn't know how he was supposed to be.
No, I disagree.
I liked him. I honestly think this was his best role in years.
Yeah, no,
come on, Vegas, and, all these movies.
I would rather see him in Vegas.
Oh.
I mean, but he does one of 2 things. He's either completely hamming it up when he does a role, or he underplays everything and does sort of talks low. You know what I mean? And there's no in between with Quaid.
Hey, Dean, that was amazing. Just amazing. Wow.
It's no big deal.
No big deal. Hey, get changed and let's all go out and celebrate.
Thanks. I got plans.
We'll break them. Heck, this is important.
Dad, I can't.
I thought he was as great as he could be with the material.
Exactly.
With
No,
what
you're right. That's fine.
He was given to do, you know?
He was as good as he could be, but I didn't think he was that great. I just didn't think he had any emotional range.
I think he's got a lot of potential. I think
He
he's got a lot of
does,
potential as an
but
actor.
you look at the things he's been in, High School Musical, and
He hasn't had a lot of
He hasn't had a lot of
opportunities.
chances. He's doing better, but I still think he could have done more. Maybe it was the script's fault.
What, do you think you could push us around?
We're here to examine your invoices.
Do you have a warrant?
Mr. Ripple's fully aware of our legal rights.
Gentlemen, why don't we go inside and we'll handle this in.
You don't have a warrant, Dad.
Mr. Whipple, can you ask this person to leave?
Dean, that's enough. Dean, go it. Hey! Dean! Stop it!
Well, let's talk about the directing. Ramin Bahrani, like I mentioned, he directed it, he co-wrote it. It looked visually striking at times.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I didn't see it until the end of the movie. The last half hour is when it got visually striking. It just felt so closed in.
I completely agree with you on that, especially because it seemed like he was trying to invoke these images to try to force some type of emotion. And then also, he needed a better editor. There were so many scenes that just went on for too long that was just unnecessary.
The script was all over the place. The film didn't know what it, and I blame the director for that completely. Like the movie he didn't know what he was doing, what type of movie he wanted to make, and you just felt it throughout the entire film.
It's like by the time he figured it out, it was too late. I mean, those shots at the end, those big those God shots of the farms with the houses displaced and the windmills. I love that stuff. Those are great shots.
Fantastic.
Why weren't those in the whole movie?
There was a theme there that he obviously lost by the end of it because he was trying to do way too many different things.
Was it about the farming community? Is it a father and son story? Is it a story about, a kid who wants to get out of this small town through race car driving? Like, it just went, and then, again, the ending, I don't know what they were thinking with that. And there's these, like you were saying, there's just this long moments of almost trying to get us to care about what was happening at the end. It just didn't work.
At Any Price is a film about a topic we rarely see in modern day filmmaking, but the tone is so inconsistent I don't think it warrants a trip to the theater, so I'll say stream it.
The overall weight and gravity of the film seems lost by the end when muddied by a very weak family drama. Stream it.
I think that Zac Efron proves that he can handle heavy material, but this movie fails in almost every other category in every way, shape, and form. I say skip it.
Well, our votes add up to 1 full ticket, which is a stream it for At Any Price. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Scene 1, take 1, marker.
I am Kevin Taft, and I'm from Vernon, Connecticut. My favorite movie is actually Star Wars, but because I feel like that's everybody's favorite movie, or it should be, I'll give you my second, which is The Big Blue, directed by Luc Besson. Intellectually and emotionally, there's a lot going on that affected me at the time that I saw it, that I think I was probably responsible for its entire US gross. I like being a reviewer on Just Seen It because I get to see movies before everybody else does. Duh. I really just like talking about movies with people who love film just as much as I do.
With 42 being released, we wanted to recommend a couple baseball flicks, two very different films from the 1980s.
Released in 1984 and directed by Barry Levinson, The Natural stars Robert Redford as Roy Hobbs, the best there ever was in this game. Based on the novel by Bernard Malamud, The Natural is a terrific cinematic example of the magic of America's pastime. Pay special attention to the score by Randy Newman and the Academy Award-nominated cinematography by Caleb Deschanel. Much of the film was shot at magic hour, a time right near sunset, and the film is absolutely stunning to look at. The moment where Glenn Close's character stands up at a baseball game to see Hobbs hit is one of the best shots of the 1980s.
A very different film from the end of the decade, Major League is a politically incorrect comedy from 1989 starring Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, and Rene Russo. The movie follows the Cleveland Indians and their foul weather fans as they push for wins to avoid the team's transport to Florida.
Come on, we need some defense here! Johnny, maybe we gotta do one of those waves.
So Vaughn in a little trouble here. But I'll tell you, these Cleveland fans are great. Listen to them get behind Vaughn.
Hey, way to go, Rick!
Oliver Heil loves you. Come on, baby. Come on, Ricky. Come on, Ricky.
A really goofy film, but it's hard to resist the love story between Berenger and Rene Russo, or the edgy pitching styles of Charlie Wild Thing Sheen.
So there you have it, a sports drama and a sports comedy to get you into the baseball spirit. Our classics from the vault. Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
On our next episode, we review the romantic comedy Love Is All You Need, starring Pierce Brosnan, the drama Mud, starring Matthew McConaughey. We do a special preview on Star Trek Into Darkness, and we offer up a tribute to Siskel and Ebert by reviewing some of their favorite movies. Thanks for watching, and see you next week. I've always wanted to make a show with Abe Vigoda and Eric Estrada. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Ah!
Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, a modern detective series set in 1920s Melbourne. Now on DVD and Blu-ray. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV.